Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to always have you on board. Remember, this is Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. And of course, I'll be glad to bring you up to date with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place in this country and across the border. My name is Evan Sokinyi. And I'm joined here by Wakili Willie Sotieno. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm quite good.
Yes.
Still looking at how things are actually taking place within our country. Our eyes are also set across the borders. But then amidst all this, we are also witnessing one of the worst scenarios in terms of weather in this country. El Nino was just the other day, but here comes the raging flood sweeping people and claiming a lot of lives. Right now, the death toll is rising. But then question looms big here. Do you actually have confidence in our capacity to handle natural disasters when they strike, as this one here?
The first step is I'm going to send my condolences and sympathies to the affected families, those of people who've suffered from the ravaging floods and the failure of the state to respond adequately, effectively, efficiently, and in time to the challenges they're facing. The response by the state has demonstrated that we are on our own. Unfortunately so. Despite the fact that all those Kenyans who've died, all those Kenyans who are living in camps, all those Kenyans whose houses have been washed away, their properties have been destroyed, they pay taxes to a government. The least you expect of a government when such a tragedy happens is the question of how to mitigate. How do you lessen the pain that people are going through? We've not seen it. There is effectively no state response that you can say helps to address the humanitarian crisis that those of our people who have been affected by the floods are going through. We've lost over 100 people in Maimayu. We've lost 25 people in Garissa. Over 10 people in Madare. In Narok, we've lost people. In Sindo, we've lost people. Here in Nairobi, on average, we are talking of not less than 200 Kenyans. The sad thing is, those lives that have been lost will never be recovered. We take it, and we pray for their families for strength. But what has the state done to commiserate with them? How can you show compassion as a state to alleviate the pain that the loved ones are going through? Some of these people have lost their loved ones. They've lost their homes as well. They've lost everything they know as home. They are losing whatever they are using to make a living. You go to some of these sites, you go to Madare, go to Maimayu. The picture is heart-wrenching. We are not saying that the government brought the rains.
Definitely, that's not the case.
We are not even blaming the government for the floods on this one. We are only calling them out for failing to respond effectively, efficiently, and promptly. There is no national response that we are seeing led by the executive to alleviate and to mitigate the pain these people are going through. We do not have a disaster response unit, so to speak. In fact, when it comes to disaster in this country, I will say it's only Red Cross and other CBOs and now public spirited individuals who have held us together. We've been held together by non-governmental organizations, Red Cross, other NGOs, CBOs, and individuals. Kenyans are good people. They turn out for their brothers and sisters. They are the rescuers. NYS, Wanalala too, here on Thika Road. Our military are in the barracks. Which unit can you even deploy?
But here you are, Wakili, saying that the government has not actually responded. The president, while speaking, said that the government has actually taken legitimate measures to ensure that all those affected families are taken care of, and they've been given. He's talked of even the deputy president did not even attend the summit because he says that the government is in charge, and that is the work that is actually given to the deputy president to actually do, give food items and so on.
Madare is here. Madare is not far. Madare is here. Madare is here. It's not far. Just go to the ground and see what is happening. The deputy president's wife was in Madare yesterday with some few bags of maize. They were all gone in 5 seconds, taken by marauding youths. Is that what you call a response? When it comes to a disaster, even your response must take into account that people have lost livelihoods, people have lost their sources of income. People are hungry. Do you send a lorry load of maize and then say you've responded? The response must be all-inclusive. You must take into account even the security measures. Deploy sufficient security. Men in uniform to oversee that. Map out beneficiaries. You don't just drive into a primary school with a lorry load of hunger and you say you've responded. In fact, you're causing another crisis. Because when you drive into a primary school that with food, without any measures to oversee the distribution, there'll be a stampede. Some of those people have not eaten. They're hungry. They will not have the patience to wait for you to give them a gorogoro. And you must know that when you are going. So which response is it? These people are here. I don't walk with them in my pocket. If he says they've responded, they are here. Any Kenyan can see. They don't live in mass. If that is what I'm saying, they've responded. That is their best. Yeah, they've responded. But that response is nonsense. When you're looking into what kind of response you expect of a government, the kind of deployment you will expect, the logistical deployment you're going to do, I've not seen it.
And actually, that is what made me ask my first question. Do we have the capacity and the resources?
We have the capacity and the resources. Our military is one of the best trained.
Then if we do, then what's the problem?
To respond to disasters. They've done that before. Red Cross here has structures across the entire country. With their meager resources, they are trying as hard as they can to respond. We have other non-state actors. You have NYS. What is NYS for? Even not to deal with some of these issues. We do have the structures. What we lack is the competence in the leadership to deploy the structures that will exist to respond and to commit funds to these issues. Why do you think they're refusing to declare this flood a national disaster?
I wonder.
Because they'll be expected to put funds into it. They'll be expected to now deploy the logistical structures required to attend to these things. They don't want to put that money. They'll rather spend the money on buying Gucci shoes and Balenciaga, not to address the pain and suffering of poor Kenyans. They are comfortable hosting conferences. We are not saying don't do your conferences. You can do them. You can chew the gum and scale the stairs at the same time. Do your conferences. But, please, equally respond to this emergency. And respond effectively, not by a press statement, not by a press conference. Do something. And don't ask another Kenyan to do it. We don't expect. Kenyans are doing it in their small ways. But the ultimate responsibility lies with the executive. You are the ones who are exercising executive authority for and on behalf of the people of Kenya and for their benefit. If a press conference is what your response, then what's the difference between you and I? At least to me, I can say I've reached out to some people affected in my small way. What have you done? I don't even have public coffers at my disposal. This Kenya Kwanza, they are failures. And now it's even emerging that their failure is not even in delivery. Their failure is in the thinking. The level of incompetence in that cabinet stinks to high heavens.
Here we are, Wakili. Here we are definitely looking at how this is going on. The president, while speaking, said very well that we have two levels of government. We've got the county governments as well as the national government. In the first place, don't you then expect that the county governments would at least come up with very serious measures within their budget?
The county governments last week said they have not received the emergency disbursements. Okay. Who has not sent the disbursement to the county governments? The same national government. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to throw stones at the county government, the poor governors? On this one, I defend them. Mm-hmm. They are not receiving their disbursement from the national treasury.
So could that be the reason why the county
they can't respond? How will they respond if they don't receive disbursements? Mm-hmm. Respond in what way? Just like you and I? Go and address the press like the president is doing? He should tell us, I've sent this money to the counties. They have it on emergency. But if they are receiving their disbursements, they are 2 months late. Why do you want to blame county government? And even the nature of emergencies we are dealing with, you should look at the county governments. These are national disasters. I was saying it's a national disaster. Kenya has never experienced the kind of floods we're experiencing. No county can even be, you can say, could ever be in a position to foretell. The meteorological department had warned this Kenya Kwanza government and told Kenyans, prepared reports over time. They even forced that poor director to apologize on TV. They even said they had prayed. And the rains, Lino rains are not there. Now what is this? They fought science. They trashed science that was telling us, please get ready, be prepared. They trashed it. Now look. If they took science seriously, they will have disbursed the money to the counties. They will have cleared stormwater drainages. They will have cleared dikes. We will not be seeing the kind of development approvals taking place in this city, for example. People are building on riparian land and blocking river access, the flow of water. We will not be seeing that. You will have a national policy on disaster management and response. You will have units already set up, ready to be deployed when disaster strikes. But we have none of that. We only have the sweat of Kenyans who held their fellow Kenyans and responded to them in times of emergency. For that, I thank Kenyans. We are on our own, and our people, despite the difficulties, have tried to be there for each other without any support from the national executive.
I wonder how true it is that the emergency fund coffers are actually empty in various counties across the country.
I have not said it is empty. I have said counties are not being given their disbursements.
So they are budgeted for, but then the
disbursements are not coming. That's the point.
That's where we are witnessing this kind of...
and the governors issued a statement just the other week saying we have not received our disbursements. The national government has not responded by saying we released it. Yeah. If the counties had the money, they've said we've not received the money. The Council of Governors came out and said we've not received. The National Treasury has not said, here it is, we've sent it. Here is proof. They've not. So I will believe the governors. They've not received the money.
No, the other time we had that kind of tragedy, the inferno in Embakasi is that claimed lives of so many Kenyans. Up to now, some of the victims of that particular disaster haven't been compensated. We are still looking at this event right now. People have not even been settled and they are restless everywhere. What then do you think that the government should actually do? Could we actually come up with any other proper mechanism of dealing with all these disasters when they come?
You will not come with any proper mechanism with Kenya Kwanza. I've told you, the problem here is thinking, capacity issues. Is what is bedeviling Kenya Kwanza. I don't expect them to come up with anything. Kenyans should realize, sooner rather than later, that they are on their own. Eric Omoni is even responding more effectively than government in Madare. An individual, carrying the weight of an entire county. Government barely responding. He doesn't collect taxes from us. He's just soliciting from little coins from his followers. And he's done a good job. He's doing a good job in Madare in a small way. Now you expect the government that has all the money has all the infrastructure, has all the personnel, that has failed to respond, to now start thinking. The problem is competence. There's no thinking there. Kenyans should now start thinking of alternatives. Alternatives to new governments that will respond to their issues. But these ones, you're wasting time.
What would be your direct message to the president right now amidst all this crisis that we're witnessing?
Can he report to duty? He's never reported to duty as a president. He needs to report to duty and start leading the people of Kenya to where they expect him to lead them.
But he says the country is well equipped to handle such kind of tragedies. You say otherwise. I wonder who is right, who is wrong here.
No, it's not about the jury's out there. The sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. It's out there.
Okay.
If this is his best, let the people decide.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a conversation here with Wakili Willis Otieno on the kind of tragedy that the country is facing currently and the capacity of the government to handle such kind of tragedies whenever they strike. Well, do you think that the government is up to the task, and right now has it actually done enough to ensure that Kenyans are safe amidst the kind of raging effects of the floods that we're witnessing in this country? Stay tuned to some of our programs that will be coming up next year. Remember, Gerald Kabiro is part of this channel, and he will always bring you up to date with analysis of all that is taking place, as well as Richard Mwenja with Professor Herman Manyora, still part of this family. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment, but of course be free to weigh in on this conversation and talk to us, and we'll be more than glad to go through your comments. And of course, if you want us to tackle anything, kindly tell us down there, and we'll be more than glad to do so. Allow me to stop at this moment till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okini.